Ish.
We're having some wins.
I have to admit the bar's pretty low after the last couple of
very
potties.
low. Very low, bro. Yeah, things are happening over here on YouTube. Looks as though it is working. Yep.
Sweet as a peanut.
So that link may work now.
All right. And I'll flick on that link again on the phone.
Flick it. Go to flick.
Flick. Paste. I genuinely don't know if it would work, but who gives a fuck? They'll find it.
Yeah. I mean, weekly rub down, fucking YouTube. Is it that hard? I don't think so. I say not.
Too easy. All right. We're actually live anyway, so we're just yeah, all right. Too easy.
Cool. All right.
Cool. No doubt.
No doubt. Let me get rid of this. Fuck that off. We don't need that. More fucking pages up than a fucking 13-year-old boy addicted to porn.
Yeah, well.
That's a lot.
Or a 30-something addicted to porn.
Yeah.
That's it.
Very good.
Pretty accurate.
All right, let's do it. That's live. You're done. Intro incoming.
Hello, handsome. Care for a rub down?
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Something special is about to happen.
Are you waiting to receive my limp penis?
Very aroused.
Better than later.
Let's do this.
That is incredible! That is unbelievable! That is brilliant!
Yeah, g'day rubbers. Welcome back to the Weekly Rub Down, a podcast that rubs down everything NRL Supercoach. You're listening to the Round 6 Rub Down. I'm your host, Natty, and with me as always, riding shotgun in the Rubmobile is the stats wizard, king of calculations, the sultan of the spreadsheet, Wooker. What's going on?
Hopefully getting through some technical dramas that we had last week, but this week, humming.
Honestly,
flying on all cylinders.
I
Every
think
cylinder.
this is our best run yet. And I knock on wood.
Mate, there's a low bar that we've set for ourselves.
Everything's going swimmingly. And, mate, I'm going to pierce the top of one.
Yeah, everything's coming up Millhouse.
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's have a sippity-doo.
Cheers, boys and girls.
Oh, that's good gear.
Oh, fuck, that's good. What a kind of a week.
Big week. What about the bros getting another win? Look out. Building, bro. Building.
Oh. What are you like, 1-4 now or something?
7th. I think I'm coming 7th. But in true Wooker fashion, I've gone in. I've looked at total points scored. I'm going all right.
No.
I'll be okay.
My point scored is
bullshit. Let's just say that I think I'll be okay. I think I'm gonna be good. Actually, with the triplet.
Looking at your team, maybe not.
Are you serious? My team is gone, bro.
I don't know. Your two RFs are pretty dodge.
Yeah, they are pretty
CT
shit.
CT dubs are pretty shit.
Yeah, actually,
fullback's half decent though.
Man, look at that Lomax. Oh, I love you, Zach.
Did not get fullback though. It's bound to be coming in the next few weeks.
Honestly, I don't want him to play fullback. I think he's actually better for Supercoach at wing. He's
getting through a mountain of work. It's been quite good to watch him evolve a little bit.
Every week's an audition for a big paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Great things for Supercoach.
That's the thing that I find interesting is, do you think once he's locked down this next contract and potential next year transfer to, say, Eels, do you think he takes his foot off the gas?
Bro.
He's a dog.
He's a dog. He's a fucking dog.
Dog.
Like, he'll be fine. Yeah, no, I think that's just how he plays. Yeah, he's a professional, but he'll be fine.
He won't kick stones.
Maybe a little bit of a dip. I don't know, but I think this is just who he is at the moment. All right, geez.
I'm throwing stones personally. So
Dribbling at the moment. Let's
we haven't even started yet. When dribbling.
I know. So as always, this rub down brought to you by our Patreon, the Rub Club. Tier 1, $5. Tier 2, $8. That's $2 a week, people. It's cheaper than a fucking coffee. It's cheaper than anything. You can't get anything for a $2 coin these days. And the stat sheets that you are getting week in, week out is just unbelievable. You're not getting stats like this for NRL Supercoach anywhere else. Guarantee you that. Now, every week, I've been diving into one of the stat sheets and just sort of doing a bit of a rundown about how you read them, what you're going to get out of them. Last week, what did I do last week? The game day sheets, which is just
game day sheets.
Very, very good gear, very good gear. So this week, I'm going to do the team summary sheets. Now, this was a little addition that we put in last year. And it's something that really helps me in the work I do on the podcast, whereas I'm trying to indicate where the bulk of the Supercoach points and tries are coming from. And what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for the holy grail of matchups. I'm looking for a team that scores all their tries, all their Supercoach points on an edge, and that matching up to the other team, the opposition, who concede all their tries and all their Supercoach points, or the majority of Supercoach points and tries to that attacking edge. So it is really a great point of reference first up to find out what games in the round have the top statistical matchups and what edges line up for attack and defense. So, for example, if you get up the Raiders-Titans game, if you look at the Raiders, they are dominant on their right edge for scoring Supercoach points, 66 points per player per game, and they are scoring all their tries down their right, averaging 2 tries a game down their right edge. And that is indicative of the green box. So you just look at the green, it's on the right side of the Raiders. You know they're a right dominant side because it's both for Supercoach points and scoring tries. Then you look at the Titans, and there it is. It's that holy grail of matchups because you've got the Titans who are conceding 68 Supercoach points per player per game, 2 right attacks, so their left edge is weak, and they're scoring conceding 2 tries a game, 2 right attacks. When I see that, I go, okay, this is one of the top matchups of the round. This is one of the best Supercoach games of the round. And what that does, I go, okay, I'm looking at Raiders right edge players. Let's dive deeper into that. And there's plenty of stat sheets there that you can start following the rabbit hole and see how fucking deep it goes and start narrowing in on certain players. But this is a really good place to start when you're looking at your start sits, your pickups off waivers, your plug and plays, and your captaincy options. Really good place to start. Also for your try scorers, so your ATSs. So if you're having a bet, you're looking at a same game multi, get this up. You go, okay, let's look at Raiders. Obviously, they've got the big matchup here against the Titans, but right away, I'm looking at right edge players. So that's steering me in the right direction straight away, and then I can hone in on those players. It's one of my favorite stat sheets because it gives me just a really quick reference on, is it a good game for points and where are those points coming from? So that is the team summary sheet. It's a really good one.
Yeah, and it goes through all 17 teams. And yeah, it's like you mentioned, good reference guide. And we've got a really good punting set of sheets coming up in the next few weeks that we're just putting a final comb through just to get the juices flowing. But yeah, we'll be releasing that in the next few weeks as well. So watch this space.
And these are the stat sheets I use in the Chase Your Losses podcast, people.
Oh, shit.
Mate, I was going to keep them a secret. I was going to keep them in my back pocket, but Walker's twisted my arm. He gives too much. He's too good to you. Yeah. I'm telling you. So now you'll be able
all for the rubbers, mate.
True. So, yeah, so much on there, people. The Patreon. We love it. You love it. I'm telling you, if you get in there, you pay your $8, you have a look at it. Of course, you can bounce out. We don't care. But I'm telling you, if you're into Supercoach, I don't care if it's classic or draft, get in there, have a look at these sheets. And if you're serious about it, you won't leave. You're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it.
For sure.
All right, man. What do we got? Let's get into injuries. Jesus, there's a
Mate,
few of these.
there's fucking few of them. How about the carnage in that fucking Roosters game? Jesus.
Yeah. Are you ready? Because I've got the injuries. You're going to have to tell me who's coming in for these blokes.
Yep.
Zach Labert, ACL, season gone.
Yeah, Tommy Chester comes in from the Clouds. So, yeah, he's definitely a really good plug and play this week. And, look, I think he's got some value moving forward as well.
Yeah. I do like the way Tommy Chester's played in the games that he showed us this year. So he's a nice little pickup. Corey Horsburgh, groin or an abdominal. I got a couple of different stories with this one. But, yeah, he'll be sitting out for a couple of weeks. Hasn't even really fucking hit the ground yet.
No. Look, I thought it was an abdominal thing, but yeah, I think he's going to be out for a few weeks. And look, he's been in the forward rotation, so Mariota slips back into the bench, and yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about there.
Yep. All right, let's get into Jordan Rapiner, meniscus, and this has been an ongoing thing with this knee injury. Looks like, and this is from Brian, 6 to 8 weeks. This is huge, bro.
I mean, we've got a huge classic option here in Chevy Stewart, one of the best names in rugby league. And look, I think being dual, I think he's going to be a huge option. And I think, look, you've got a couple of weeks to watch him in classic before you bring him in. You almost have to jump now to get him in draft, I think, especially based on what we've seen in Cup and in the trials.
Yep, for sure. Herbie Farmworth, AC joint, looks like he'll be out 4 weeks.
Yeah, Tessie New just comes in there. Unfortunately, Big Val, not getting a mention.
Bunty Afoa, hammy, 6 to 8 weeks there.
Yeah, it's just forward rotation there in the wires. So I think Tavega probably gets a little bump in minutes, but nothing to write home about.
Samuela Fainu, calf injury.
Again, forward rotation. So you might see a bump in minutes for, say, Stefano or maybe Clemmer, but yeah, it's not really one that I'm looking at.
Yep. Kurt Mann, broken hand, 3 to 4 weeks.
Look, I picked this a couple of weeks ago that I thought that Kurt Mann might replace Jamin Salmon at lock, and yeah, it happened. But yeah, I think, look, Salmon just moves back into lock spot. Joshy Curran is named at edge, back row.
And got the front row forward duel. Hello.
Yeah.
Adam Reynolds, hammy. I mean, hammy. Is it a knee? Is it an ACL?
Well,
Very
mate,
cagey, the Broncos about this Adam Reynolds injury.
Yeah, I mean, the way he was downtrodden in the sheds, you would have thought that he'd done his ACL. So look, Madden comes in. The fact that they've got Saylor on the bench means that he's going to play some part in the game, you'd imagine. Yep. And I would be surprised if it's not through the half spot.
It's interesting. I listened to the Magic Sponge, obviously NRL physio Brian, his podcast with James, and they were talking about, like, they were reading lips of the physios in the field, and they
actually,
yeah, and they kept saying it's loose when they were doing the ACL test.
The ACL test. Oh, the hands-on one's supposed to be very accurate as well.
And they were going, it's loose. They were saying it's loose.
That must have been why he thought the worst.
So
shit.
Yeah. Hope you guys handcuffed Adam Reynolds because, yeah, it could be an in and out thing this year. And I just don't like how the Broncos have been real cagey about it. It's obviously worse than they're letting on, 100%.
Would have been a good thing a couple of weeks ago to trade him for Hunt.
Yeah. Only the best, only the smartest of Supercoach drafters would have done that.
Fucking land on our feet there.
Hello, baby. Okay, Dean Mariner, broken back, spinal.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking heavy. Corey Oates actually comes in, so he's been stinging for a start. Played some pretty decent games on the edge, so looking to come in on that right wing spot.
I reckon he plays left and Arthurs goes right. I've never seen Corey Oates play right wing.
Yeah, we've seen Arthurs play both sides. Yep. He's filled in at centre. He's filled in on both wings. So I wouldn't be surprised. Because it might be a couple of weeks. I'm not sure whether they'll wait. He's a left hand carry, isn't he? Yeah, no, he will play left hand, won't he?
Because one of my best bets in the Chase Loss podcast is Broncos and then into the right winger, because the stats are just screaming that right winger score. So I put a lot of thought into it, and I was like, yeah, I just think even when you take your mind back to when Arthurs was playing with the Warriors, he's playing right center, right wing. If I had to bet on it, which I will, which obviously I will be,
yeah, exactly.
I'm going to be betting on Arthurs to be that right winger to score.
Yeah.
I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, but that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, I mean, and lining up against Avarillo and Bostock, there's probably a good chance that there's going to be some meat in there for Arthurs as well if he's on that right.
Jack Bostock, 7 line breaks conceded.
Not fantastic, is it?
No.
We'll get to that later.
Okay, so also obviously Panthers with a bye, but Luai concerns for an MCL came off a little bit early in that game, so keep an eye on that one. If you want to trade Luai now, just while they're on the bye, to an unsuspecting person that doesn't know what the fuck's going on, would probably try that one.
That's a standard play. Well played.
Head knocks, plenty of HIAs. It was fight night. Teddy, Sam Walker, Blake Taff, John Bateman, Ruben Garrick, all sitting out this week. All eyes are on Teddy and Sam Walker. Teddy, 10th.
Well, Teddy especially. Yeah.
And in saying that, like, if you listen to the Magic Sponge podcast, and I hope you do, but Brian talks about every concussion being different and every lot of symptoms from those concussions being different as well. So just because he's had 10 doesn't mean that this is the one where he has 10 weeks off. This could be one where he just bounces back fucking sweet and he's back playing, in round 7. So you just don't know what's happening, but it is getting worrisome for that many concussions in your career.
I mean, the tough one looked terrible as well.
Oh, my God.
Jeez.
When you fold back on yourself
and
it looks like you could suck your own dick, that's how much you've folded in half. It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was bad, bro.
What was Robbo honestly thinking in the press conference when he said, "Oh, no, that's not," from what we've seen in other sin bins, no, that's not a send-off. Mate,
that's just a bloke backing his boys. He knows it's bad. He knows it's bad.
That was terrible.
I know, but if you're young and your coach is doing that, you know you're doing the wrong thing, and your coach is saying that, you're like, "Fuck, big fella's got my back." I like that. So,
fair.
Because you know that Robbo has gone behind closed doors and rips fucking
shreds off him. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but in public, he's my boy. Love him to death. Did do anything wrong? Fuck you, journo cunts, and then go behind closed doors and whip him good. Fair. So any ins for those head knocks that you're interested in? Obviously,
Joey Mardo playing fullback any day of the week. An interesting one, very interesting one, is Connor Watson shifting into the halves, covering for Walker.
What's he available at? 5'8" and
no, just who? Watson. Connor Watson's 2RF and hooker.
Hooker, yeah.
So he'll be a handy play this week in your hooker spot. Blake Taff, obviously, Critter Crichton comes in for him, so he's a decent play option. I think they're up against the Storm this week, so probably not the week to really make those sort of trades. Johnny Bateman, he's out. Seyfarth comes in. He's been going all right, Seyfarth, when he has come on the field. I think he scored 2 tries this season as well, so definitely offering a bit in attack.
Is that's left edge?
That is left edge.
Yeah,
correct.
Left edge. So Alex Seyfarth will be coming on and playing left edge against the Dragons' right edge defense.
So he'll be lining up against
people. Keep that little tease close to you. Write it down maybe, because this Dragons' right edge defense.
It's not fantastic, is it?
It's not even close to it, bro.
No bueno. And then Ruben Garrick's out, and name escapes me. Who's coming for him? He has Benny Burbo has actually come in, and then backfilling him in the back row is Corey Waddell. Corey Waddell, I don't mind as a plug and play this week. He has performed quite well with his runs, and looks to be offering a fair bit more than we've seen from him in previous seasons.
Yep. Yeah, I do like the cut of his jib, old Corey Waddell. Ones to watch. Now, Max King has a fractured hand.
There's no way he's playing. I
don't know what's happening there. Tom Flegler, AC joint. Jack Bird, concerns for PCL. Like, Jack Bird went down hard, and he was screaming in pain. I don't know how he's fucking named this week.
It looked pretty bad.
Yeah. Yep.
the way he went down.
Yep. And DWZ, obviously with that hammy issue, these hammies can just pop up. Like if you've got issues with it, they might say, "Yep, you're all sweet," and then he starts running around pre-game, and they go, "Yeah, no, mate."
And if you feel there's any sort of tightness with these type of high impact speed, you can't be risking that.
And I mean, when you put RTS there, I mean, fucking hell, what a replacement!
That was unbelievable. Yeah,
what a replacement.
And the thing is that RTS was playing pretty much like a second fullback at times as well, which is just not fair.
Yep, unbelievable. Suspensions: Latrell 3 matches, and Dom Young obviously 2 matches. Latrell, look, on this podcast, I am a big fan of Latrell. I'm all about Latrell, but there's a few things he needs to bring into his game. That is restraint, and that is putting this team on your back when they need to. If you're going to be one of these big marquee players commanding a lot of money and commanding a lot of respect, that's what you want from everyone. You want the respect. You've got to be one of these players like Teddy, like Pappy, like Nathan Cleary. When they're behind, when they need something, when the team needs something, these players put their hand up and they get it done. And you're just not seeing it from Latrell. And like in draft and Supercoach world, like this is just in his game at the moment. Like these stupid fucking plays where he sits out, and it's a snowball effect now because he'll carry weight into the judiciary. So 3 matches now, has another brain explosion in 4 weeks. This might be 5 weeks that he's sitting out next time. So yeah, I don't know if he comes back and he kills it, I'd be selling him straight away.
Yeah, I mean we've looked at how many games he's played each season over the last few years, and he rarely gets over 17 games just due to either injuries, which has been the least of his concern, or suspensions. And that's where he's lost a number of games each year because of that. So, look, I think there's going to be obviously a lot of changes afoot with the Bunnies in the next few weeks. So, yeah, I think we'll watch this space and hope for the Bunnies' sake that Jai Gray gets the job done. He looks to goods, that kid.
Mate, honestly, I don't know what's going on with the Bunnies. You drop Damien Cook, what's doing? What's doing?
I'll tell you what's going on with the Bunnies. They got no fucking go forward. And if you can't lay a platform, what the hell's a hooker supposed to do if the forwards are getting beaten every game?
And what are you going to do? Are you just going to like systematically drop players every week until you find out the weakest link? Like, okay, we dropped Ilias. Oh, we're still losing. It wasn't him. All right, let's drop Damien Cook.
They dropped Ilias. They dropped Ilias, and fucking Dean Hawkins is worse. Like there was never the problem. It was never the problem, and he's not there to be that guy.
Tough times for the Bunnies fans. Tough times. Wooker's fucking. He's about to blow up, people.
No,
he's about to blow up. Dom Young, 2 matches, this clear cut. Just when you take someone's head off, and that person no longer has a head on their shoulders, then you're going to sit out for a couple matches.
It was always going to happen.
Bloke's returning, big Reece Walshy. Let's go. Yeah. Walshy's back.
He's going to have a bit of a mask on or something. So that'll be interesting. I hope it's like one of those Mexican wrestling masks or something. So
Phantom of the Opera coming at you. DWZ obviously returning, Cable returning, Ty Munro back for the Bunnies.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Bryce Cartwright back for the Eels. Britton Nickera back as well for the Sharks. So some really big ins for round 6, bro.
Yeah,
that's about
interesting one.
Should we start rubbing down some of these games?
Let's do it, mate. Let's do it.
All right, let's get rub-a-dub-dub in this motherfucker.
Stats, records, rankings, weather. I know the team.
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock.
I know these players.
All you gotta do is bet on the win.
I know this wonderful game called football.
Let's get on with a rub down.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That quote that's these games are a burial, a human life. Have you seen that movie? Two for Money?
No.
Do yourself a favor, bro. Al Pacino and Matthew McConaughey it's a full gambling, sports gambling movie. Fuck. Everyone listening, if you haven't seen it, Two for the Money. Very good.
Two for the Money.
It's like an ex sort of college player. Then he starts working for these ask the end of the world fucking bookies, and then this big bookie picks him up And he starts picking winners. It's good, real good, real good.
I mean,
I just love gambling movies. I love everything to do with gambling. Hook into my veins.
shocked me.
All right, let's get into this. One thing I haven't done is check weather for this, so might do a post later in the week with this. But because that was definitely an issue last week. Weather, holy hell. Thursday night, 7:50 p.m. Knights v Roosters, McDonald's Jones Stadium. So when we're looking at strengths and weaknesses for this one, both teams weak versus left attacks. Knights obviously strong on their left attack. Roosters more of a right dominant side up to this point, but with so many outs, it's going to be hard to predict where they're attacking. Obviously, no Sam Walker. Manu isn't on the right. That whole right edge is a completely new look outfit. So, yeah, look, hard to sort of know how this game's going to go. I know that Rando's pretty keen on the Roosters to win this one. But the statistical matchup really lies with the Knights left edge. Like I said, you got KP on that sweep with Nari Tuala Best coming up against, what do they got out there? Jennings, Pauga, Watson. I mean, when have these three fucking defended together? There's going to be some issues in their reads. And, I mean, Ponga is putting some of the best defensive edges through a loop and making them put their hands on their heads and saying, I'm not playing anymore. So I think he carves up this Roosters right edge defense. So I'll be looking for KP to have a big one. I'll be looking for Nari Tuala to have a big one. Best is pretty much just run and block plays at the moment, getting cut out.
Yeah.
He's got no skin on the end of his nose because the ball fucker whizzes past it at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So, yeah, I do like that Knights left. That's not really surprising anyone because we know that's going to be a top matchup anyway. For Roosters, Manu's going to go big at fullback. He does. That's just what he does. You look at the past games that he's played at one, they're huge fucking scores. It's 100+ game no matter who he plays. So big on Manu there. But really hard to see where they actually score the points. So if I was going to just put my money on anything, it's this Knights left, bro. What about you? What's your top matchups?
Well, I'll actually go back a step a little bit, and TLT, one of the big things to come out of that. And we heard from the press conference last week that Greg Marju is a chance to play this week. He's in the number 22 jersey, so it could be a late in for Nari Tuala, who will shift onto the right side.
I was thinking about this the other day, and now this could be completely wrong, but this is what I do when I'm 8 beers deep on the lounge with my own thoughts. But Nari Tuala's got more toe than Greg Marju.
Yep.
It's 100% a fact. Now, is Nari Tuala on the left wing? Is that more beneficial for KP and his attack and the space that he creates on that left edge? Because Greg Marju can do what he does anywhere in the field. Right, left, back, forward, doesn't matter where he is. What he does best is get him out of trouble and shrug would-be tacklers. So I just thought it could be more beneficial for the Knights. I don't know if they're thinking this way. And we have seen Greg Marju play right wing, right? So he was playing right wing for the Knights when he first came in, and he also was playing right wing for the Titans at times as well. So we know he can play. I know Tuala can play both as well. But I wonder if they're thinking that way, if they're just like, because obviously I'm watching KP really hard because he's my captain every week. And the space he's giving Nari Tuala, and Tuala is burning cunts. So that's something to think about. Now, I could be way off, and Marju comes back and takes that left edge spot, and Nari Tuala goes back to right. But I was like, if it was me, I'd try it out. Just because of that pace, just because of that speed. Because there are times where KP does make space and gives it to Marju, and he steps back in for contact. And you're like, pin the ears back, brother.
All he has to do is just get up half a yard of pace, and he's a juggernaut. No one can stop him. So
but he's just always looking for that contact.
He loves to get the hit. Yeah.
He could be no cunt in 80 meters of him. He'll probably turn around to try and bump someone. Try like
seeing
that way,
him,
Greg.
seeing him in a breakaway would be hilarious.
Go that way, Greg.
It'd
Go
be like
that
watching
way.
Fogarty in the clear.
So just like if this happens, I'm an absolute genius. But I thought I'd put it out there.
Yeah, as a Marjuan, I hope it doesn't happen.
I don't think it really. Obviously, tries might be an issue, but those 50,
They scored more tries on the right.
Yeah, and those 50 to 55 point games that he just busts out every week, they're not going anywhere. That's what he does.
No, exactly.
He'll eat that up.
And that's what you want from your CG Dub.
Yep. All right, that was a little bit of a tangent. Who you like here for matchups?
Mad tangent. Matchups, I do like the matchups for both the edge back rowers for the Roosters. So Angus and Nat Butcher, I think both of those guys are probably in for a decent run. Purely statistically, the Knights left side doesn't have a great matchup, but we just know with Polga and Michael Jennings, their new combination. Ponga's not exactly the best defender in the world, so yeah, I love the call about Beston and Tuala especially if he does end up playing. Difficulty is you don't necessarily know, and this is why I hate ATS bets as it stands, because I would be going all in on the left wing for the Knights, but without knowing where they end up, it's going to be a tough one. Outside of that, both the left half and right half for left half for the Knights in Cogger and the right half for the Roosters, which I'm assuming is going to be Watson, have a good matchup. So as a plug and play option, Watson doesn't look too bad, especially if you're struggling in the hooker spot.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this team list. Papa Jennings in centre. I mean, KP's going to be running straight.
He almost looks as old. Papa Jennings looks almost as old as I am, and that's pretty fucking old.
He's got more grey hairs than I do, and that's
saying a lot. You're a salt and pepper boy.
I am, baby. I am. It used to be, the Richard Gears. Now it's more. It's more. It's more than that, baby. So yeah, Papa Jennings is
getting the boot polish on his
pre-podcast. is in trouble, mate. Okay, so waiver wire pickups. I mean, Angus Crichton obviously had an excellent game on the weekend, got big minutes, but everyone was injured. It was a walking waiver. And you've got White on the bench. You got Satili Tupanua.
Tupanua is the biggest risk for minutes for Crichton.
100%. Chances are he doesn't play 80. Still, he's a guy that's available everywhere.
He's a mad pickup. He's a mad pickup this week.
Yep. You got to get him. He's a big pickup. Definitely waiverable. Connor Watson, like you said, a nice little free agent plug and play there. Dylan Lucas. Don't care how long Frizzell's out. You pick up Dylan Lucas. The kid's a fucking gun. 90-something points, had 44 tackles on the edge. That's crazy talk. Get Dylan Lucas in your side. Not only that, has a really good matchup for scoring tries. So whack him in there. Do like him. And Leo Thompson. Talked about him in the free agent frothies. And I think I've talked about him every single week as in like a free agent plug and play. Or not a plug and play, just a free agent pickup. He's the alpha in this side. He's getting the line share of the minutes and a guy that will get you consistent 50-point games. That's what you're looking at about these front row forwards that are free agents. You just want the consistency. Like even guys like Blake Laurie now, our boy, doesn't have the consistency. That's all we're looking for. We just want consistency. Even if you're going to score 48 points a game, just do that every week, please. That's all we're looking for. And it's tough, isn't it? It's tough to find that guy.
This has been one of the hardest seasons for front row forwards because we've had a few that have been stalwarts over the last few seasons just fall away, like our boy Blocker Laurie, not even making the starting side, and it has been really tough.
Yep. So if you can pick up a guy like Leo Thompson, honestly, even 45, if you're going to do 45 points, but you can do it every week for me, I'm keen on that. Just consistency. So yeah, I do like that. But Angus Crichton probably the big one here because if the dust settles and it all fucking comes up, Millhouse, if it all comes up, fucking Crichton could be very, very good. VC options for this game: Caleb Ponga.
Ponga in a heartbeat.
He's humming. 2 games he was down, but he is. I mean, even in the wet, they can't have a snorkel on and flippers.
Yeah.
and scored 100
You
plus.
see that guy in the crowd.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, Manu, if you've got him, you got to fire him up.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big unit when he plays fullback. If you want to look at the there's apparently very minimal chance of rain as well. So I think it's 0 to 1 mil potential.
Good boy, Wook. While I'm talking a lot, as I do, you can get up the weather. Nice. Well done.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Friday, 6 p.m, Storm versus Bulldogs. The New South Wales Cup Bulldogs side at Amy Park. So strengths and weaknesses here. Both teams weak versus left attacks. However, both teams are dominant down their right edge. However, I don't think it fucking matters in this one. Storm are head and shoulders above this Dogs team when they're fit. This Dogs team is the walking wounded, bro. So I think the Storm are going to fire everywhere. I don't think it matters. Wherever they send the ball, I think they'll find success. But if Munster can fire up this left attack, I really do like it. Look at Hutcho, 22 missed tackles, five line breaks conceded, 5 tries conceded. And Karaz out there on the right edge defense as well has been an absolute liability. He's had 13 missed tackles and 5 tries conceded. So we're looking at Sean Bloor, Walbrick, Mad Dog to have decent games. But as always, that Katoa-Hughes combination that we were fucking harping on about in the preseason again and again and again. And people are going, you're sucking Hughes' dick. You're sucking Katoa's dick. Where? Have a go at it now. Where are you now in the comments?
There's a reason why we're sucking them.
Come and play in the comments.
Speaking of which, it's time to toot my horn about Birdo. He did what I was expecting him to do, and I hope it's not a flash in the pan, but this is what I was hoping he would be able to do throughout the season. Look, it's probably one that is a mad sell target right now off the 140 game. So obviously, if you've got him, start to shop him around. But told you so. Yeah,
good call. It was a good call. And look, first couple of rounds when he was playing shit, Walker just dug his heels in. He said, "No,
he's going to come good. I literally said before kickoff, he's going to come good." Oh, he came good.
Yep, he came all over. Whoops. He did. He came all over.
Clean up an aisle, mate.
He really did. Clean up aisle fucking Wooker, sounds like. Jesus. All right, what are your top matchups here, brother?
I mean, he's probably a really good plug and play this week. Sean Bloor, if he's available on waivers, he's definitely waiverable now that looks like he's signed up that spot for the minute.
Joe Chan, it was suspected that he had an injury, but then he played in the cup team, so he's just not favoured.
Yeah, so I think Sean Bloor's done enough to keep the spot for the minute, and he's definitely waiverable. Plug and play, Xavier Coates on left wing, definitely one that I would consider. We know that he needs 2 tries to be relevant. I think he's got 2 tries in him this game, especially against they'll be up against a forward pack that'll be so beaten because Maxi King is not going to play. Like, hand on heart,
surely not.
He's broken his wrist. He's not going to play. His mum even tweeted and said that he's broken his wrist. So not going to happen.
Oh, mummy tweeted, did she?
Exactly.
Mummy, he's broken his hand, guys. He's not going to play this week.
Exactly.
He's coming home with me.
The poor big fella. But he is the only thing in the engine room that's doing something. It's a tough one. I think the Storm get it done, 13 plus. I think it is going to be a bit rough for Dogs fans.
Correct.
Yeah, I think there's apparently going to be a fairly windy game as well. So I would be looking at Jerome Hughes to rain an ungodly fire on Critter and the back 3. Yes. Similarly, Birdo might be in for a bit of a show as well with his Terran boot.
Yeah, rain down ungodly fucking things from the heavens with snow on it. It's Birdo. For tries, mate, you said it before. Xavier Coates, really good matchup. Dogs conceding 56% to Coates' edge and 19% to his position. And then look, if the Bulldogs can do anything, it's been a bit of a trend here for the Storm over the last sort of season and a half, so 2023 season into this year, that wingers just score against them. So Connor Tracy, you know, they're leaking 27% to him, and then Blake Wilson as well. So both over 25% to the wingers is a hefty percentage to be letting in tries to wingers. So I don't mind maybe if you want to go a same game multi where you went Storm, win 13 plus, Coates, and maybe Connor Tracy. Could be not a bad little booster there.
You always get a little bit extra when you go both sides.
Yes. Anytime you add in an underdog try scorer, and me and Rando talk about this a lot, if you can add in an underdog try scorer, it's going to boost your odds a lot. Waivers, not a lot here. We talked about him, Sean Bloor, definitely worth a pickup. Really good matchup this week as well. But other than him, not a lot doing. Nelson Asafa-Solomona is nearing a return. He's number 22 in the reserves, has been playing for the mighty Bears and just fucking killing dudes. Imagine.
He went to the judiciary for 3 separate things on the weekend.
Imagine this.
Hilarious.
You're laying concrete on during the week, and then team lists come out, and it's Smoko, and you get your phone out, you're having your can of tuna, and you're going, hang on, just let me look at the team. Oh, yeah, sweet. Yeah, they've got me named at lock. That's good. Let's see what the Bears are doing. Huh? Solomona's playing this week. Boss, what'd you say before? Did you say that you needed me on the weekend? Yeah, okay. I'd rather lay concrete. Fucking hell. Yeah. No chance.
No good.
Any draft moves for this game? Probably not. There's no one sort of.
I mean, like I was saying, Coates would be available on almost every league because he's like not super coach relevant when he doesn't score tries. This one, I think, is one that you'd fire up on.
Yeah.
Oh, like outside of that, Sean Bloor, mentioned him before. He's a waiver pickup. If for some reason Josh Curran's available, fucking get him. Absolutely.
Forward spot, baby.
Yeah, exactly. How good. Pick that one, which is lucky. Bronson Sherry for a couple of weeks. He might be a half decent move. I'm not really looking at him too much. I think Sandra is probably the only one looking at him. Yeah.
They'll pummel the Dogs here, the Storm. If you're looking at VC,
even Welch.
Yeah.
Could be good.
If you're looking at VCs here, Pappenhausen, Hughes, Eli Katoa, a boy. Honestly, if you've got any of the big players here, the big dicks for Storm, you're whacking a VC on them.
Big time.
It's gonna be a tough game. And it's at Amy Park as well. Do you know what? Friday night, 6 p.m. Amy Park. Dogs are struggling. Yeah, not looking good for the doggies. All right, let's keep the vibe of the show rolling along nicely. Friday, 8 p.m. Broncos v Dolphins. So plenty of injury concerns for the Dolphins. Obviously, Tom Flegler is named, but he had AC injury concerns. Herbie Farnworth is out. Felice Kafusi is out. So a bit of go forward there, lacking in the Dolphins pack, and obviously the return of Reece Walsh for the Broncos is a huge in for them. But this game has been close in the 2 games that they've played each other. So without Adam Reynolds, I think Broncos will keep it very simple. We'll keep the plan of attack very simple, which I think will keep this game quite close. Now, both teams, their weak versus right attacks. Both teams left dominant, so the statistical matchup isn't quite there. But both teams have shown over the past couple of seasons that they can definitely use their right attack, right? So I actually like the Broncos' right attack to find some success in the one. The Broncos, if Staggs obviously there, if Arthurs is out there on the right wing as well, you've got Bostock has let in 7 line breaks in 4 games. Avarillo, 3 line breaks in 3 games. Staggs versus Avarillo is quite a mismatch, and I actually like it even more if it's Tessie New. So if Tessie New plays left center and they move Averill over to the right, I actually like that even more for Stags.
Can oath. I like it for Osako as well.
For sure, yes.
Yeah.
If Averillo moves over to the right. And then again, so this Finn's right attack has a bit of a matchup then. If you've got someone that can get the ball to Osako, Broncos are weak against those right attacks.
And look at Zay Katoa has a great matchup in that vein.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. So if they can fire up these right attacks for both teams, I think they'll find success. Again, for the Finns, that Mam, Stags, Ricky defensive corridor is just fucking poo, especially Mam. Anyone running at Mam, game over. He's not even a turnstile. Turnstile, you have to sort of push. You have to sort of push through a turnstile. Mam doesn't even give that up. 24 missed tackles, 7 tries conceded. Who is running at him? Who's the edge back row that's getting a start there?
Edge back row is going to be
Kenny Brom?
Kenny Brom.
Or they put Ewan Aiken out there. Kenny Brom has been the left edge back row for a long.
He has, and we've seen Ewan Aiken play left and right, so Ewan might move over to the other side.
Ewan Aiken, ATS. Fire him up.
Yeah,
Fire him up.
Not a bad shout.
Fire him up. All right, bro, what's your top matchups?
I mean, mentioned it before, Zay Katoa has a sensational matchup. Bronx have been conceding 72 points on average to right halves. Hit the nail on the head before. The right winger for the Bronx has one of the better matchups, conceding 66 points per game in Finns. So, look, it's definitely one that Arthur's, if he's playing there, we know that he's in a bit of try scoring mood this season, but he's also had he's had a bit of base behind him, and it's making him Supercoach relevant now. So definitely one that is a plug and play this week, but fuck, he might even be like a fifth CTW rotation option in draft. So one to consider there. Kenny Bromwich would have had the matchup if he plays right. If he shifts to the left and Ewan Aitken goes right, then yeah, Ewan Aitken's definitely one that you'd fire up. And Jordan Ricky has a really good matchup this week as well. Finns have been conceding 67 points to right edge back rowers. So an interesting one. I probably wouldn't go in that direction because obviously with A-Ray out, they're probably going to be a bit more left dominant, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's just going to come down to where Reece Walsh likes to play, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever edge he decides to go down.
And we know that he can go both sides.
Yep.
That's the real trouble here is they might just look, if they go to the defensive weakness, it's obviously going to be Bostock's edge, and that's going to be down the right.
Yep, 100%. Waiver wire pickups, not a lot here. I mean, Isaiah Katoa, nice little pickup. He's been playing well.
Just picked up the halfback as well.
Yeah,
so he's
nice.
now dual position.
That's nice. That's good. And I just want to put a fucking shout out to our boy Jared Wallace getting a start on the bench.
Yeah.
If he can keep a spot, come on and play 45 minutes. Huge.
He's got upside as well for a front row forward. So
huge upside. No, we've been talking about Josh Kerr, Mark Nichols, these guys that are able to score tries in this pack. Nobody's better at doing it than fucking Jared Wallace. I mean,
and this is probably like, yes, it's
this gangster shit.
It's an aging pack, but holy fuck, if it's not one of the better packs in the league, I'm not here.
Yeah, it's good. It is good. Yeah, it's good. Nice mix between some old heads and some absolute firecrackers. You know, partnering Jesse Bromwich with Thomas Flegler is a nice little combo there, isn't it? You
have to imagine Flegler's, if he does play, he will be playing with limited minutes. I think he'll do everything he can to play against the Bronx. So I wouldn't be surprised if he starts off the bench, just gets maybe 20 minutes or so. So probably wonder if you're an owner, as myself, I won't be firing up this week.
Yeah, fair call. What about VC options for this one, mate? Probably not Reece Walsh.
Yeah,
maybe
Hammer for sure. I mean, outside of that, it's a tough pick out of the rest of them. Like maybe, like Paddy Carrigan doesn't have the upside for a VC. I mean, outside of that, maybe Marshall King. The Bronx have been conceding a little bit through the middle, but Yeah, I
Could be
think
just one to kick back and relax.
I think I'd give it a miss on this one. Look, you could throw one at Jermaine Osako, actually. If there's a bit of points to be had, he'll be a beneficiary for sure.
This is the thing with this week, right? Because there's a lot of question marks about who plays what edge. And that's really hard when you're trying to put VCs on, when you're trying to have a bet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, like I said, I like Jesse Arthurs to score in this one, but I might bet on him and he runs out and plays left wing. And I'm like, fuck, well, that's not what I want. And you might VC Jermaine Osako thinking that Avarillo is going to be out there on the right, feeding a really good ball in space. And then all of a sudden, no, it's Tessie New. So, yeah, tough. Just think about it when you're selecting your VCs this week, because I would be going with steadfast points. I mean, you did mention Paddy Carrigan not having the upside, but I mean, maybe this is a week where you just try and get that solid 70 points and then move on. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, look,
go.
It could be just a straight captaincy option if you've got no other real lock. Well, I say lock, but a lockdown 70 odd points.
For sure. Paddy Carrigan's killing it. Like, without Payne Haas, he's the man. He is the fucking man.
Yeah, exactly.
Saturday, 3 p.m, Warriors versus Manly. Go Media Stadium across the Dutch here. This was a really hard game to analyse. Both teams pretty balanced, both edges for leaking points. And then even dominant in attack, like they're just slightly, like, you know, Warriors are slightly dominant on their left, Manly slightly dominant on their right. So it's not, you can't look at this game and go, okay, this is exactly where they're going to attack. They've been doing it all year. And no, this team is conceding all these points on this edge because they've been doing it all year. Really hard to sort of pinpoint where it's going to happen. So it's fucking really hard to read. Now with Charles Nickel-Clockstead back at fullback for the Warriors, you will see this right edge gradually become the more dominant edge. But at the moment, it's the left. And we saw Tamari Martin come back for the Warriors on the weekend, and he looked really, really good. Obviously, with RTS out there, they've got prowess, power, and a weapon out there to use, so they might use the ball out there. If I'm looking at a matchup, I think the Warriors get it done here, and I think with Garrick out, and you've got DCE and Paulo's poor defensive reads at times, this left edge might be up for one, but I've got no confidence in that analysis. Honestly, for this one, I'll just be kicking back and enjoying this one. And look, I'll be even benching RTS this week for another one of my CTWs, just because I just don't know how this one's going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be cracking a beer and watching this one. It's probably not one I'd be keen to roll the dice on like a Tommy Turbo straight captain or anything like that.
No, I feel you, dog. I feel you. It's not. It really isn't a good matchup. Like lots of red too. Lots of red in the game matchup.
Super red. Yeah. I mean, the one thing is, like, the Wires are conceded 87 points to opposed fullbacks, but we've seen in the past, especially last season, that the Wires' defense against teams, especially like strong attackers, specific attackers like Turbo, the man marking is too good. So I would expect that they'll be all over Turbo's ass in this one, and I think it's going to be a low scoring one. It's expected to be fine. No real rain to speak of, and no real wind either. So, look, I think this one it's primed for a really close affair.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I look at this game and I look at the team list and I go, fuck, could be 14-12, could be 42-38. Do you know what I mean? When I'm looking at some of these players, Tom Travojevic, DCE, Charles Nickel-Clockstead, DWZ, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Sean Johnson on a dry track, like this could be points, or they could just fucking defend the house down, because both teams have been pretty staunch in defense. So I've just got no idea. Honestly, no idea about this one. I won't be betting on it, won't be captaining anyone, won't be VCing anyone, nothing.
Super game, but yeah, the only players I'd be looking at starting would be Tohu, AFB, Barnett.
Yeah, you just all
your forwards.
Yep. Geez, DCE coming off that big game, not a bad trade target either. Just sell him high on that. I don't think he's doing that again this year. Got to think about how old he is.
I will say this: last season he did have a fair few high ceiling scores in him. Granted, that was without Turbo, but yeah, you got to sell high in those situations. Look, there's been talk of straight trade him to Hughes and things like that.
Oh, I like that.
I love that.
Like that. And the thing that you do here with guys like DCE who have an astronomical game, 120 plus, that's when you trade them. That's when you look ahead to the final strength of schedule on the Patreon. You go, okay, what halfback has the best strength of schedule for my final system? Okay, it's Hughes. You know what? I could get that over the line. I could get DCE, trade him, get Hughes on my side. Now I've got the best halfback with the best strength of schedule in my final system. That's how you make moves. It's never too early to start prepping for finals, especially if you started the year well and you're confident you'll be there when the whips are cracking.
Big time. Big time.
All right, let's move on here. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Eels v Cowboys, Combank Stadium. Fuck, the Eels look bad. Holy shit, they look bad. Clunky as fuck. Is it Moses is out? Like, is it just too much for Brown to do? He's putting the weight of the world on his shoulders. It doesn't look good.
He's not an organising half. Look, DJ Nazi comes in and he replaces Talangi. I think that's going to be a benefit. And look, I think it'll take a bit of pressure off Dillbags because he's just not that type of player yet. He might develop into it, but it's too much weight on his shoulders. He needs to play what he sees rather than start organising structures moving forward. So, yeah, I think the move is probably a good one. I probably would have put Talangi at centre rather than Morgan Harper personally, but look, I think it just highlights Tom Chester as a huge play this week.
100%, bro. 100%. So Eels, they are weak versus right attacks. Cows weak versus left attacks. Eels dominant down their left. Cows dominant down their left. Down their right, sorry. So that perfect matchup is sitting with the Cows right edge. Cows right edge attack versus this Eels left defense. That is the holy grail matchup for this game. Love it to bits. So I mean, the Eels do have a matchup down their left, but I just don't think they have the go about them to make it happen, to benefit from it. So it's all about the Cows right here, and sound the fucking alarm because Morgan Harper's back in this side. So, oh man, this is great for everyone. This is great for everyone. Super coaches, punters, everyone. Like you said, Tommy Chester comes in here. Tom Chester's about to look like Val Holmes this round.
Yeah,
he's going to have a field day against Harper. And Harper and Simonson, this defensive combo is fucking laughable, bro. Terrible. So bad.
They got shown up massive early in the season. So, yeah, I would be very concerned.
Then I did. Chester, Felt. All of them. Put them all in for tries. Felt's a double. Chester, like I said, he might get a double. It's a big game for this Cowboys, right? I love Felt 2 or more. Just signed, sealed, delivered. Write it down. Love it.
I don't mind the pick one of the 2 players to score 2 or more tries. I think that's a really good one for that right edge for the Cows. Look, there's a lot of matchups here, if I'm honest, with the Cows. So looking at Tommy Chester, obviously, Scotty Drinkwater is a huge VC. I would even go as far as straight captaincy option this week. Val Holmes, he'll get a sore foot because he'll be kicking so many goals. I think Kyle Felton, I mentioned him before, he's definitely going to have a decent matchup. Eels have conceded 68 points per game to opposed right wingers. They've conceded 84 points per game to oppose right centres. So, look, Chester's going to be available on every single waiver. He's probably not going to be picked up by a lot of people on waivers. So, I mean, you could save your waiver claim, log on at 4 a.m., try to pick him up. But he will be there for a large part of the season. So it might be worth putting in a waiver claim for him because Leibart's obviously out for the rest of the year.
I think so, man. 100%. Yeah. Tommy Chester, big claim.
Yep, he's a big claim guy. And then on the other side of the ball, Hopgood has a really top matchup for this week. It was a bit. I mean, Cows have conceded 75 points to opposed locks. And look, Jermaine Hopgood, he's probably got Matto in the rotation again now that Cartwright's back. So not as sweet a run as you'd hope, but look, I think there's going to be a lot of defense from the other side of the ball.
This is a big watch for Hopgood. I'm just going to get his minutes up that he has been playing, because obviously as a owner, I'll be watching this very closely. Now,
have you still got Matto?
Yep.
Yeah.
So he went
hedging the bets.
Yeah, 100%. He went round 3, 61 minutes, round 4, 55, round 5.
55.
Round 5, 60 minutes. So, look, if he comes out this week and still gets 60 minutes, then that's within the realms that he's been playing all.
Yeah.
So you'll be pretty happy with that. But if he dips down in the 50s,
yeah, you don't want to touch that.
No, danger.
Yeah, you'd want to be looking to sell him on if he does cross the stripe, because he is always a try scoring threat.
Yeah, the attacking stats are coming for Hopgood.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, just looking at the try scoring stats.
There's a lot of red there, which is good.
No, Tommy Chester. I mean,
yeah.
Eels conceding 55% to right attacks and 20% to right centers. Now, when I talk about dominance, 40% for edges is dominant and 20% is dominant for wingers. For centers, it's more like 12%. So Eels are conceding 20% to right centers. It's ludicrous, people. Ludicrous. So Tom Chester, one of my favorite fucking ATSs of the round. He'll come in. He'll be over $3. So fire him up. Love that. And I love those players with draft too, like pick up a Tommy Chester free agent and people are going, what are you doing, bro? Like, nice pickup. Tom Chester, never heard of him. Never heard. They'll give you the never heard of her. And then Tom Chester comes out and scores 2 tries and you're just like, boys, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Keep your head on your own side of the fence.
The only tough thing with the pickup of Tommy Chester, he's only available at the moment at fullback. That will obviously change round 12. But yeah, you just keep him on the bench. But fire him up if you're a Sloan owner or whatever. Definitely jump in and grab him because, even if you're a turbo owner, grabbing Tommy Chester makes a lot of sense because he'll provide you coverage and then you'll end up being able to play him in your CT dub spot.
Yep, 100. He's pretty much the only sort of claim-worthy guy in this game. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, Dijon Arzi, I can't trust the Eels at the moment. Bailey Simonson, if he's available, he busted out a 49 over the weekend. Look, we've seen what he could do last season. He was averaging about 60 points at centre. Out left wing, though, is that's one of their attacking threats. So, it remains to be seen what we do get from him. But when he was scoring poorly at wing last season, it was from right wing. So
there is a commandment to just get on whatever wing is running at Coalfelt. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, let's. I don't know if there's any VC options. I mean,
VC
just Cowboys,
Drinky Holmes. Yeah, Hondos.
They're the big ones, obviously. Clint Gutherson again. What did he get on the weekend? Didn't play too well because they got pumped with the Raiders.
Yeah.
I
He got dead set fuck all. I think he got about in the 30s. He had no runs. He had no nothing. Yeah.
What did he get? Let me get it up.
For this one's at Combank. I'll just bring up the Sydney forecast. Bear with me for a second. This is a Saturday game, so there's fuck all chance of rain. It'll be cloudy though, with light winds. So kicking game is going to be pretty easy in this one. Good footy
weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's keep it going here. Saturday, 7:35 p.m. Bunnies v Sharks, Accor Stadium. So when we're talking about the strengths and weaknesses in this one, Bunnies left D, absolute trash. Puss. Absolutely shot. right attack. I don't care. Sharks, yes, they're dominant on their left. I get it. But their right attack is on like Kong in this game. You bet your dick they're doing video session just going, okay, Britain, see here? Just do that. Run this line.
Yeah.
Ramian, Jesse, you're watching? You're going to go through here. Jack Whiten can't tackle.
Yeah.
Katoa, you're up for about 4 tries this game. Like, they're all on here. Jack Whiten comes in. I mean, did anyone know how bad he was in defense? 8 tries conceded in 3 games.
I mean, he plays center in State of Origin, and he absolutely brains it. And he's a defensive liability in NRL. Like, what's going on?
I don't know. It's bad. It's real bad. So, hello, Hines. Hello, Nickera. Hello, Ramian, especially Katoa. Fire up Katoa. Katoa's up for a big one. I'll talk a little bit about him later. But, yeah, Katoa's up. His whole right edge, which means Hines is going to be huge in this game.
Straight captaincy.
Could almost be the captain of the round.
Yeah. I think, fire him up for sure. I think Jesse Ramian, if you've got him, start him. Look, if you're one of those sad, lonely, pathetic Kennedy owners, even fire him up to play, not to captain VT. But
don't hold back on Kennedy. Fuck.
Oh fuck, he's been useless. I got rid of him. I got rid of him last week, and
you're always big on him. Though. Every year, you're so big on him.
No, but like every year, he's actually done something. And the only reason why he's had a deflated average is because he's pumped out a -2 score or a couple of a 2 and a 10, and it's brought down his average by about 5 points.
Mate, this season, it sucks. If you can't score big in this game, he is a useless.
Yeah, he is. Oh, that's one that we need to bring back soon. Is the useless cunt punt.
Getting close to the useless.
We are. It's usually around round 8, round 9.
Yeah. Actually, there's a good shout out. Anyone listening that's got some guys that you like, don't know what to do with him, DM us. I might put a post up for the useless cunt punt, and we'll talk about it next round.
Nice.
Top matchups here for you, mate. What are you thinking?
As a Cody Walker, I'd love to say Cody Walker, but anyone who's got like pale blue, sky blue, you want to be getting on them. Look, Nico Hines, obviously, Sione Katoa, mentioned him before. Kennedy as well has a good matchup. Jesse Ramian has a good matchup. Other side of the field, Kale Iro has a good matchup, and we've seen what he can do in with quality ball. Teague Wilton has a good matchup, and Braden Trindle has the best defensive matchup of the game. 67 points conceded to opposed left halves, but I think everything's going to be down the right.
Yeah,
so
you would think so. 100%. I mean, I hope everyone listened to me about KL Iro, getting him early, wavering for him, and getting it done because it's worked out perfectly. Obviously, if you're a Talakai ironer and you didn't do what I said and handcuff Talakai with KL Iro, you're a bit upset because he's almost a drop now.
More than a bit upset.
He's almost a drop. Like, I mean, he's going to get like 30 minutes. He's going to be an impact player.
Do you think this impact? So who do you think this impacts from the starting players? Do you think he impacts on Wilton's time or Iro? Or both at times?
I don't think you're benching KL Iro. I think it's Teague Wilton. And you might even see him rotate through the middle because they are missing a lot of middles. You know what I mean? Like Hart's out. Fucking Ueli.
In the extended bench, they've got Hamlin Ueli and Toby Rudolph. So they could be late ins. So I'm interested to see how they use Talakai from the bench because
for sure
I would be surprised if it isn't through Wilton on the edge because look, he'd be devastating.
You would think he comes in for Wilton, and then the thing is, like, then you've got a fresh Talakai on the edge there. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, huge.
He's built like a Westinghouse. He's mad.
Waiver wire pickups if Kale Iro's out there, go get him. Huge. And I mean, honestly, Guru's been talking about him for 2 years, saying, and I quote, as soon as this kid gets a go, they won't be able to drop him.
Yeah. And look, he's putting up the score. He's undroppable. And after the bye, undroppable.
Yep. He backs it up this game with a decent game. Yep. That's
just Hazelton, Tommy Hazelton, we've mentioned is a good pickup in previous weeks, but just be mindful that with Toby Rudolph and Hamuele in extended bench, he may not be as favourable moving forward.
Yep.
I think outside of that, there's not a heap of options. Like Dry Gray comes in for a couple of weeks, but Tyrone Munro is an interesting one, and I think he probably ends up. So he played a fair bit of the right wing last season. Do we think he ends up on the right wing, or do we think he replaces Isaac Thompson on the left wing?
Yeah,
if he's left wing, super interested.
I think the fact that Thompson isn't there and that Milne's named, I think Munro comes and plays left wing. Yeah, and obviously that left wing is still great real estate. As bad as Jack Whiten is in defense, he was carving them up.
He's been scoring points.
Yep, and he's just creating space. And because of that ball playing background that he has, he's always looking. He's like he makes a line break, and all of a sudden AJ's there, bang, gives him the ball. So, and AJ's been given a bath every fucking game this year. Then in that game when Jack Whiten was turning it on, he looked like the old AJ. So, yeah. And with Munro's speed and his agility, he could do a lot out there.
I think so.
I think he's definitely worth a waiver for sure.
Yeah, I think he might be a right-hand carry, so he might not be perfect for that, and that reason they might play him on the right wing.
Yeah, okay.
I'd have to watch from last season. It was only 4 games, I think. But yeah, I'll figure it out.
Okay, VC. We're probably straddling VC captaincy options here with the 7:35 game. Probably more like captaincy options. Obviously, you've got Hines as a standout captain, probably one of the best captains of the round.
Yep.
Your VCs obviously on Katoa, Iro, these type of players. Nikora
even Nikora,
a captain option.
I reckon Nikora hasn't really been scoring that well this season. Obviously, had the couple of rounds out suspended, but yeah, I'd fire him up.
Yep. Jack Whiten probably worth a VC, but other than that, not a lot doing for the poor Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
Jerseys getting burnt all over Redfern at the moment in fucking 44-gallon drums.
Someone who lives in Kensington, heartland of the bunnies, it's tough to watch.
Can you smell the ash from there? Can you?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm straddling
smells like a number 1 jersey too.
I'm straddling the Roosters and Bunnies area, and there's a few unhappy people around at the moment.
Take your pick wisely. All right, let's get into the Sunday 4:05 p.m. game. Tigers v Dragons, Campbelltown Sports Stadium. Absolute cracker. This one, can't wait for it. Should be good, Supercoach wise actually, and for betting. Dragons weak versus left attack, like fucking weak, like real weak. Tigers weak versus left as well. They're actually, when you look at the stats, when you look at the numbers, there's nothing that jumps off the page and go, okay, this is where teams are going to score points against the Tigers. So really hard team to sort of get a read on at the moment. So I think it's more, I'm sort of looking at that Tigers left attack to have a dominant game for tries and Supercoach points. You look at Olam coming up against Bird and Hunt. I think that's juicy.
He's been in try scoring form, hasn't he?
And they're feeding him early ball, man. They're just going, do your best. And when you look at that right edge defense, I mean, Hunt and Bird have combined for 10 tries conceded and missed 28 tackles between them. Honestly, if you look at the whole right edge, right? So if you look at tries conceded, and you take Sloan out because obviously Sloan has more numbers because he's at fullback and they attribute a lot of try contributions to him. Or tries conceded. So look at tries conceded. What first for the team is Hunt, second for the team is Lomax, third for the team is Sewer, fourth for the team is Bird. That whole right edge. Look at line breaks conceded. First Hunt, second Lomax, third Bird, fourth Sewer. So if this Tigers left attack can't do something against this fucking terrible Dragons right defense. I mean, I did allude to it a little bit earlier. Alex Seyfarth coming on that left edge, running at Ben Hunt, who, again, is one of the worst defenders behind Mam in the league this season. Could be in for a nice little ATS, nice little plug and play as well
don't
for
mind
Alex
that.
Seyfarth. But my favorite thing about this game is the battle of fullbacks, right? So both fullbacks top the charts in scoring tries for their respective teams, and both teams concede more tries to fullbacks than any other position. So it's actually a perfect matchup on both sides for Buller and Sloan. My Chase Loss's best bet for this game is either team 1 to 12, Buller and Sloan to score, which is paying juicy.
Don't mind that.
Yeah, it is a nice little bet. So, yeah, I do like the fullbacks in this one. Lomax, talked about him earlier. He is just rehearsing for a big paycheck, and he's gonna rip in here. And all the attack is just funneled through to him. Every single thing the Dragons do, they're trying to get Lomax to be the finisher.
Now, do you think if Bird succumbs to that PCL, do they move Lomax back to center and bring in, what is it, Max Verhey?
Yeah, well, Matt Fegay is number 22 in the reserve, so you would think that he comes in, and he might even come in on left wing. They move
Rather back, yeah, that'd make a lot of sense, yeah.
And Lomax plays right center, yeah.
And I still don't mind that.
100%. Lomax still kills it, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's it should be a good game for Supercoach points. Yeah, really interesting game. What about
it? Might actually, like, realistically, it might be worth doing an early ATS on Ravalawa before, like, you get some serious value on that because they scored dick all tries down the left wing. Anyway, matchups, you hit the nail on the head. Olam's got a good match, like one of the top matchups. I think a schmoky for an ATS this week, Stefano Uru Ikamano. I think that they're going to get rolled a bit through the middle. He's been in real try scoring threat. He's been busting lines left, right, and center. Got across the stripe a couple of times this season, and yeah, he's definitely going to be in the ATS mix for me in this one. But yeah, I think you can't go wrong if you go Buller, Sloan, Olam, and maybe a bit of Stefano to cover it off.
Yeah.
Pure matchups. I think that there is a lot of red in this one, so it's a tough read from a Supercoach points perspective. But look, I wouldn't be surprised if Jaden Sullivan has a really good game. Obviously, lining up directly against Benny Hunt, so I think there might be a few nice little plays to put Seyfarth through gaps, things like that. So, yeah, if you've got a bit of weakness in your halves, might be worth bringing in Jaden Sullivan for the week because I think there might be a bit of joy there.
Yeah, look, the more I look into this Justin Olam play, the more I like it. A little bit hard. You're not going to captain him, obviously, but if you do have a selection issue where you're thinking, do I play Olam or not, definitely play him. He scored 23% of the Tigers' tries. That's a huge chunk of change there for try scorers
at
in the
center.
team. Yep. Dragons conceding 52% of their tries scored against them to left attacks and 13% to left centers. Like I said earlier, 12-13%. That is dominant. That is a really good matchup. So Justin Olam for me could be in for one. I like a lot of try scorers in this game.
Now
a lot.
Like, just diving into try scorers, and you were talking about like 20% being dominant. Terrell Sloan has scored 40% of the tries for the Dragons, like 40% at fullback. It is outrageously ridiculous.
Yep. 100%, bro.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's dominant for his scoring. But I'm more looking at how teams are conceding. And so Tigers conceding 25% to fullbacks, Dragons conceding 22% to fullbacks.
Yeah.
And usually by season end, if a team is conceding 15% of their tries to fullbacks, you go, oh, that's fucking heaps.
Yeah.
So sitting at above 25%, that's ridiculous.
Hello.
So yeah, big. Righto. So waiver wire pickups, Alex Seyfarth, like we said, Jaden Sewer, our boy, if he's available, we love him. Justin Olam, obviously, if he's out there, he needs to be part of CTW rotations. Tommy Eisenhuth, again, I mean,
He
PPM's really good.
Just keeps getting it done, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
100%. Other than that, bro, anything else for these teams?
Like I said before, Jaden Sullivan, I think he's got a good matchup this week, and I think he's possibly going to get a bit of joy lining up against Benny Hunt in defence. Look, we've seen Michaela Ravalawa dropped in a lot of leagues, obviously because he's been playing on the left wing that gets starved of ball. Look, I would be picking him up in the hope that he gets shifted over to the right sting. Much like the ATS pick that I was talking about before. But outside of that, I don't really think there's that much outside of those.
I will put a shout out to Fanoa Pole, 2RF.
Oh, yes, actually.
Yeah, and it's very consistent. 58, 59, 58, then 67 on the weekend with scores of 39, 59, 46, and 53. Yes, could do a lot worse. I did forget. I put him down as a mid-waiver claim on the waivers post in Patreon. Yep. So, yes, he's a very, very good pickup if you're watching now. Yep, 100%. Captain options. Zach Lomax.
Lomax is set and forget. He's just been dominating week in, week out. Outside of that, it's a tough one because there's no like real big dicks in this one. I wouldn't be confident in like unless you're chasing points. Even then, we don't have the high ceiling guys. So
full of mini dicks this game. Not a lot of big ones.
You know all about
that. All right, let's get in the next game, and this will be the last game. It's my favorite.
Oh, this one. Could be
not only is it the best time slot, this is actually good because I'm not going to watch this one. 6:15 p.m. Raiders v Titans, GIO Stadium. Okay, so really dove into the stats here to try and get a really good read on the matchups and who's strong, who's weak here. So Titans weak, full stop, just weak. But more specifically, Titans are weak everywhere. And if you want to narrow it down even more, they're weak against rugby league attacking players. And that's as narrow as I'll get for the Titans. They're just shit.
They're rubbish on edge. I've noticed that they're rubbish on the edges and they're also rubbish on the middle.
Yep. That's it. They're really bad on days ending in Y as well. So, I mean, I don't know how much more analysis you can get here, guys. It's pretty bang on where we've really sort of narrowed it down to a fine art here with the Titans. Look, I love this right attack for the Raiders. Timoko, versus Kelly. This is going to be good, people. Kelly, 6 line breaks conceded, 19 missed tackles. Timoko has 20 tackle breaks for the season. Holy. That's 19 missed tackles for Kelly versus 20 tackle breaks for Timoko. It's a match made in heaven.
That lines up, doesn't it?
Holy hell. And you're going to talk about it in a minute, but you're looking at the matchups for the Raiders. It's Christmas Day. There's that much green and red there. Yeah. It is fucking Christmas morning. Now, Firma and Boyd have been dead set liabilities in defense. Yeah. Now they're defending together. Firma's been on the left. He's been terrible. Now he's over the right, standing next to his buddy, who's also fucking terrible. They've combined for 12 tries conceded, 14 line breaks conceded, and 33 missed tackles this year. And remember, Titans have had the bye.
Yeah, that's in 4 games.
I think they missed tackles and conceded a try that game as well from the couch.
From the bye. Yeah.
They conceded a try against the bye, those two. Fuck, they're bad. So, Huddy Young, Ethan Strange, looking good in this matchup. Yeah. Savage for some meat as well. Titans leaking 18% to left wiggers. Chevy Stewart comes in. And like I said earlier, 6 to 8 weeks for Rapana. Chevy Stewart, it doesn't get any better for him as an audition to keep this number one. Yeah. Titans leak 32% of try. I talked about it before. 15's a lot. 15% a lot. 32% of their tries go to fullbacks. A fullback has scored in every single game against the Titans. It doesn't get any easier for Chevy. He needs to fucking own this game. So honestly, take your pick. Anywhere. Just a green jersey, light them up, captain them. I don't give a fuck. And look, I'll talk about Titans for a little bit. Raiders are weak against left attacks. Titans, no doubt, will be more dominant down the left with Fafita back in this side. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. This will be a theme of 2024. Don't like players with little fucking Titan people next to their name.
Yeah.
Little Spartan soldiers next to their name. I'm not keen on them. I don't like them, bro.
I mean, if the Raiders had better attack, this game would be 50 blot or something along those lines, 50-12 or something like that. They did fight back towards the back end of the game last week, the Titans, so they do have points in them. So this one could be something along the lines of 42-20 or something like that. It's obviously going to be cold as fuck in Canberra, being a night game. Looks like there's no rain. It's going to be partly cloudy, light winds. So King Game of Fogarty's going to come in massive in this one. I think Fogarty's in for a fucking mad game. I think Savage, huge. Schiller, huge. Timoko, huge. Shout out to Cleese Haas. He looked really good at lock, and he was putting in some good line runs as well, mainly on the right side. So look, you do worse than picking him up off freeze and giving him a run as well. Be doing a lot of tackling in this one. Outside of that, Denny Levi, we've seen him get across the stripe a number of times, and Titans have conceded 87 points per game to opposed hookers. So definitely one that, look, if you're rotating your hookers or you're really struggling in that area, Denny Levi is probably available, and he's a bit of a plug and play option this week.
Started with him in Classic. Whatever. Also started with KL Hero. Whatever.
Did you?
Yep.
Save yourself a trade. How good.
Whatever. It's okay. I've turned my attention to Classic a little bit this year. Surprise, surprise. I'm doing well. I go.
How's this 5 minutes before, not even 5 minutes, like 2 minutes before kickoff, I did a mad switcheroo. I went Ethan Strange. Nah, I'll bench you, mate. I'll put in Blaze Talangi.
Oh no.
It was a nice 75-point turnaround. Yeah, I fucked up. I still got like 1100 something, but my God, I fucked up. Anyway.
So what I did last week is I brought in Zach Lomax. Hello.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Not a bad shout.
I'm doing well. All right. Waiver wire pick up some sexy ones here. James Schiller.
Yeah.
James Schiller, bro. James Schiller.
Yeah, well, he was one that we were hesitant to put on like as a waiver pickup early in the week. James the Killer. He was killing it in preseason, and the only reason why he got the start was because of the cooking injury for Albert Hopewadi. Thought that Hopper would get his spot back, but Schiller's just been scoring too many tries. He's been on an absolute tear the last few weeks, and yeah, you can't be dropping him now.
Bro, 77 points, then 112 points. He has got 3 tries, 1 try assist, and 1 try contribution at wing against the Sharks and the Eels, 2 games.
Right.
Very, very good.
And lined up against his old teammate, Harley Smith-Shields, he could be putting on a bit of a score here too.
Yeah. Yep. And you need Tomoko. Tomoko makes line breaks. That's what he does.
It does him in his sleep.
He eats line breaks. And then, like I said, Chevy,
tries.
big waiver wire pickup here for Chevy, because if he goes well,
yeah, this
could be big for him. He could lock down that fullback spot. So they're obviously big on him at the Raiders. And if you listen to Timmy Williams, he is the future fullback for the club. They're just trying to time it well, bringing him into this.
They don't want to put him in too early.
No,
and that's
if
the
he
thing.
comes out and he owns this game and looks mature, looks good, it could be an early play for him. So definitely.
Well, Rapin is not going to be there next season, so it makes a lot of sense.
Chevy, is he CTW fullback, Joel?
Yes, he is, yeah. So he's coming in at basement price in Classic. So definitely one that, look, if you want to go early on him, he's potentially going to put down a bit of a score this week. So, look, you might be able to bank the points plus get your price rises a little bit later.
Would you pick up James Schiller? with a little bit of the uncertainty about his position?
He's
make money.
No, he's almost a must-have. He's like 107 minus 117 break even. You got to get him. He's I'll be adjusting some of my trades this week to bring him in.
Yep. I was looking at getting Tulagi in this week, so that makes that decision easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
I got Tulagi for the price rise, and I think I'll be saying goodbye to him now that he's out of the team.
Is he come, is he go? Sometimes shit.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. Yeah.
Oh god.
Could be worse.
Captaincy options. Timoko
for sure. I think Fogarty might even be a captaincy option in this one. I think Zach Hosking, definitely a captaincy option. Hunter Young. I will be captaining Fafita.
Yeah.
I look, either way, even if they're not scoring well, he's still scoring base heavy scores. So you take out his line break assist from last week, he's still putting down a 60, 65 in base.
Yep.
Loving that. So look, he's getting there and involved. He's bringing up his match fitness. So look, they can only be so bad for so long. We've probably said this about the Titans for the last fucking 6 years, but they always find their feet in attack. Yeah. And
the attack will come. Defense will still be shit.
Yeah,
but
we've seen it in years gone by, and look, we saw it at the second half last week. So I think that it will click for them in attack, but mate, they'll still struggle in defense.
Yep, I agree. All right, that's the games. Rub down, people. Let's get into the happy ending.
You want happy ending?
I got a booty.
Let me break it down for you so you understand. I'll hold your hand like a small child. Fuck. Oh my god, fuck yeah.
So I will throw out some waivers that we've talked about in each game. If I miss any Wooko, throw them in there. Connor Watson, low end, maybe free agent. Angus Crichton, definitely waiverable. Dylan Lucas, definitely waiverable. Anari Tuala, definitely waiverable. Sean Blore, definitely waiverable. Isaiah Katoa, waiverable. Tom Chester, waiverable. KL Iro, probably number one.
Top waiver.
Yep. Jai Gray,
he's
low
a free agent. No, he's a free agent. He's got 2 to 3 weeks in him. He's not. I wouldn't be looking at him. 5'8" only as well.
Yep. Okay. Fair call. Tyrone Munro, low end waiver claim.
Yep.
Alex Seyfarth, more the free agent plug and play.
Agent, yeah.
Chevy, it's a specky pick, but I think he's waiverable.
I think mid one only because of the potential that he's got.
James Schiller, if you want a big score this week.
Yeah, you're chasing the score this week, really. I think he's obviously going to have Albert Hopewadi breathing down his neck for the next few weeks. So, look, the job security is just not entirely there. But in Classic, you've got to grab him. Yeah,
I agree. Any that I missed there, bro? Anyone do you want to add?
I mean, those are kind of the big ones. There's a couple of plug and plays and all that we spoke about, but yeah, Tommy Chester's probably one that I would add in there as waiverable, because he's obviously going to have first crack at the spot moving forward.
Just such a good matchup this week, isn't it? Lord. All right, let's get into our round 6 matchup drafts. So I'm picking first. Each week we pick 2. We go pick for pick. We pick 2 top matchups, and then we get into our plug and play draft where we pick 2 plug and plays under 35%. First up in the top matchup. I mean, who am I gonna go here? So many Raiders to pick from.
It's funny. It's only one game that we're looking at, isn't it?
Titans like more Supercoach points than any other league, which gives the Raiders the best overall Supercoach matchup in the round. Where the Raiders are strong on their right, 66 points per player per game, where the Titans weak on their left D, conceding 68 points. 68 points per player per game. 68 points per player per game. Alarm bells are ringing, bro. They are ringing. Raiders' right edge has the best matchup of any edge in the comp. It's the Christmas box. It's the arouser meter. Green box, red font. Yes, please. Dive deeper into that edge, and you get up the game day match sheet. I mean, take your pick, but I will be taking Matty Timoko. Red font, green box. Titans leaking 73 points to right centers, making Timoko the top right center play and a top 3 CTW matchup as well for round 6. Like I said earlier, 20 tackle breaks for the season. Kelly, 19 missed tackles. I love that. That just sits nice with me, right? That Dragon's right edge. Left edge is shot. Hunt saw a bird. Lomax, 19 line breaks conceded for the year for those guys, making Matty Timoko one hell of a captain choice. I'm a big fan of Matty Timoko, and he is my top matchup for round 6, baby.
Yeah, that makes my choice a little bit more challenging. I am going to go in the same vein. I am going to go, obviously, Raiders right edge. This is more of a specky pick and definitely more of a plug and play option. I'm going to go James Schiller. Now they've conceded and this is
matchup, or is this plug and play?
I know. This is matchup, mate.
Wow.
This is matchup. Now, Titans have conceded 77 points per game to opposed right wingers, coming up against Harley Smith-Shields, who has only played the one game this season. New defensive edge with Brian Kelly. We know how many missed tackles Brian Kelly has offered up, and a lot of the offloads and a lot of the meat that is being scored is off the back of Timoko's work. So whilst I do agree Timoko has a fucking sensational matchup, I think the pointy end of the stick is going to lie with James Schiller this round. Obviously coming off the back of a monster score last week, 112. Yeah, he's just too hard to look away from. He's got a top matchup. He's red and green. Yeah, it's
red
all
and
Schiller.
green.
It's all Schiller boy. It's all Schiller boy.
The Christmas box, I'm calling it now. Christmas. It's Christmas. Christmas early. The Rouser-meter, Christmas box. Take a pick. I'm giving everything nicknames these days. Wow, you've opened it up for me now. I know who you're going to pick. I can pick anyone, but look, I'm not going to go the easy route. All right, I wasn't going to go anyway, but now that you've picked James Schiller, let's get into these stats. Right, Sione Katoa for the Sharks.
Oh, hello.
A right winger has scored against the Bunnies in every single game this year. 7 tries in total, accounting for 21% of the tries scored against them. Katoa has scored in 2 out of the 4 games this season. That's 14% of the Sharks' total tries. Get this. Katoa has a 100% strike rate versus the Bunnies in his career. He's played them 4 times and he has 5 tries against them. He scored in every single game against them. And that's without even going into how bad this fucking left edge defense is for the Bunnies. I mean, we talked about Whiten earlier and how many tries he's led in over 3 games. There's going to be tries scored around him. So Katoa, for me, big matchup. A little bit hard to captain him, obviously, but if you have someone that's playing later on the Sunday and you have Katoa, I think he's a really good VC. And if you have a selection issue where you've got him, you're normally playing him on the bench, he's startable, baby. Put him in there 100.
Now you've opened it up for me. So I've gone my specky pick first and the schmoky, first. And I'm going to back it up with the guy that's going to be feeding your man the ball. I'm talking about Nico Hines.
Boring.
Nico Hines is going to have a good game this week, guys. Just get your pen out, write this down. I've got a real good name for you. Nico Hines going to go well against the Bunnies, guys. Mic drop, how good.
Oh, fair play. Well, actually, all right. No, in that vein,
hit me.
Nah, fuck it. I'm going to stick with it. Nico Hines, he's coming up against the side that's conceded 66.8 points per game to oppose right halves. He's going to have his fingerprints on everything that the Sharkies do this round. He's definitely one that I think he's going to have his kicking boots on. Look, the Bunnies haven't showed much in their left side defense, and look, new combinations will be there this round. irrespective of who lands on that left wing spot. So I think there is going to be a lot of deficiencies in defence. I think Sione Katoa is going to be getting some meat. I think Ramian's going to be getting some meat as well. Britt Nakori, you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to be there or thereabouts as well. And who's going to be feeding them? It's going to be my boy. It's going to be Nico, for sure.
Yeah, we said it earlier. He is probably the top captain choice of the round, 100%. Honourable
100%
mention,
agree. Boring.
Honourable mention, KP coming up against this
for sure.
edge defense of the Roosters. I think he fucking splits them apart. I mean, honestly, I can't wait to see Papa Jennings look up and go, oh.
If I knew for sure that Marju was ending up on the left wing, I'd be actually going Marju as a bit of a smoky pick.
Nice. So we've gone Timoko, James Schiller, Sione Katoa, Nico Hines as our top matchups for round 6. Now we have our plug and play draft. So we've got to pick guys sitting under 35%. Wooker, you're up first. What are you doing here, bruh?
Oh, there's a couple that I'm looking at, and look, is Xavier Savage still there at low ownership? I'm going to save you that. I'm going to go with Kyle Lero.
Damn it!
I knew if I left him for one, you would grab him first up. So
Damn it. Yep, that's very decent. Very decent indeed.
So he's obviously coming up against a team that is conceding a lot of points, but he's going to be on the least dominant side for this round. I still think, look, he has shown what he can do in attack, and he's kept Talakai out of the side for a very good reason. Kid knows how to play footy. I think he's going to do a lot of good things lining up against Tass, who we've seen is a bit of a defensive liability this season. Outside of him, Tane Milne has also shown a lot of defensive issues. So plug and play for this round for sure.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Good pick. Fuck. I'll go with my first pick. I'll go Tommy Chester.
Oh, you got me. Yeah. I thought I threw a curveball there with Xavier Savage, but okay.
Do I have to say anything other than Morgan Harper?
Yeah, I mean, anytime Morgan Harper takes the field, you've got to be thinking, who's he lining up against? Because it's going to not end very well for him.
He was leaking 84 points a game to right centers. Like I said earlier, Simonson and Harper together defending. I mean, how can they do this? It's laughable. How can they line these two guys up next to each other and say, okay, yeah, this will fix our defensive woes?
How do they keep getting away with this?
Fuck. It has to be an investigation.
Yeah,
it has to be.
Yeah.
All right, mate, what's your next pick?
I'm actually going to need to check to see if
live updates.
If Xavier Savage is still low ownership, because he was when I looked earlier in the week, but I am not sure. It's definitely one that I'm a little bit concerned, because if I don't get him, I'm not 100% sure where I go from here.
Savage.
48%. Oh, geez, he is swelled big time. I'm going to pivot hard. And I'm going to pivot in the way of a guy that was running really good lines last week and coming up against a side that is conceding 68 points to opposed locks. It is Cleese Haas.
Wow.
It's from the clouds, I know, but this is a Christmas tree matchup for Cleese. They've been conceding the second most points to opposed locks, and he's almost playing half the game at lock and half the game almost as a second edge back rower on the right side. So I don't mind that as a bit of a play, because we know that Hudson Young isn't the best defender out there, and there's always a little bit of space between him and Ethan Strange in defence.
Nice. Smoky. Very smoky.
Very smart. That was a specky of speckies.
I'm going to go Chevy Stewart.
Yeah.
There's mine.
Look,
Chevy. And because Titans, I mean, they are the weakest against fullbacks of any team. 106 points per
That's
game
hectic. Yeah.
to the position. Fullbacks bang against the Titans. As simple as that. They've scored in every single game. 32% of the tries scored against them go to fullbacks. Like I said earlier, if Chevy doesn't play well here, he'll never play well. Like if he can't bang here, if he can't play and show the coaches what he's made of in this game up against the Titans, he just won't do it. So I expect him to have a big game here for the Raiders. Fuck, there's going to be some points here for the Raiders.
Yeah.
If everything that we're saying comes true. Whew. So plug and play draft, KL Ero, Tom Chester, Cleese Haas, and Chevy Stewart. Look, really good draft. I think now that the stats are statting, as Rando likes to say.
Stats are statting.
Stats are statting. Stats are humming. It's easier to sort of pinpoint where these teams are leaking points, where they're weak, and that throws up some really good Supercoach plays. So love that, bro. Love that, bro. Obviously, the game of the round is going to be, for Supercoach anyway, is going to be Raiders v the Titans. Might do a reel up about that one during the week, just pinpointing some of the tougher matchups, some of the better matchups, some of the plug and plays, things like that. Just give people a bit of an insight into how the Patreon is humming at the moment. But that's the happy ending, bro. But it is time to talk about bets. It's a mandatory bet round this week, which is a little bit interesting.
The puckering of the asshole has begun.
Yes. So this one is
Gambling is a very serious business.
Care to make a wager on that?
I'm gambling again! Wow, winning. Challenge accepted.
Try time bet this week. So what this one is you want to have the highest try tally in your matchup. And it has to be your run-on side. So you have to make good decisions with your CTWs, with your edge-back rowers, so that you can capitalize on tries. So there's a few different things you got to think about here with the try-time bet. So just say Walker and I are playing each other and we both have our try tallies 3, and it's spread across 3 players. Then that is a draw. Then it comes down to the highest Supercoach score from the try scorers, and they are the winning or the losers. So, but if it's 3 versus 3, but I've got one of my players that scored a double, then I win because he got a double, and he's the top guy. So there's two different tiebreakers here. It's if one of your players has scored more than one, he's obviously going to get you over the line. And then if that doesn't happen, then it's going to be the highest Supercoach points scored by one of your try scorers. Interesting. It's a fun bet because
it's like the God's hands bet. Just don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
And it's good for betting because I find myself really betting hard on ATSs in my team.
Yeah.
Trying to do anything like just massage the gambling gods so they can tell the Supercoach gods, and just.
I'll tell you what, this has got to be the round that David Fifita breaks his duck for the year, isn't it?
You would hope so.
You
would
hope
hope
so,
mate.
I need it.
God, I mean, my biggest issue is what CTW to play. Fucking hell, who's scoring tries this week? It's gonna be tough.
My biggest fear is I've got 4 decent CT dubs and I've got 2 good try scoring fullbacks. Who do I pick?
Who do you pick? Like, for example, like this is for me, like the better matchups in my 2 RFs are definitely Paddy Carrigan and Hopgood for scoring Supercoach points. Like they're my picks, but I'm going to bench one of those guys for Kai Pearce-Paul because I think he has a better chance of scoring a try.
You've got to bench Carrigan, surely. He scored 2 tries in his whole career.
Yeah, exactly. So, because I'm playing to win the bet this round. So those are the type of selection things you got to think about. And also like picking up guys like Tom Chester. I mean, not a lot of room on my bench, but picking up guys like Tom Chester, James Schiller, guys that really good chance of scoring tries. That's not a bad play either. So yeah, it's a fun bet. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be one that we'll be tracking through each game ourselves just to make sure that we're not behind. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
100.
Yeah.
All right, bro. You got some questions lined up. I might hit the.
I've actually answered all of the questions because I mistakenly said to our Patreon subscribers that we weren't recording because I thought that we weren't. And then
that's right. That's good because we've been.
Julie informed me today that we were recording.
We are gibbering and jabbering on for long enough anyway. It's almost 2 hours. But what we will do is we will jump in and we'll answer some of the YouTube live.
Oh, how good. Yes.
So we'll get into that. If I can just get the fucking media board to work. There's always one that fucks up.
Excuse me.
There she is.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
You want answers?
You know the question.
Are these really the questions that I was called here to answer?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Okay. First up, lads, who are you picking up, Angus or Nat Butcher?
I would go Nat Butcher. I think he's the pick for rest of season value. But it's a specky one for Gussie because, look, if he can recapture his pre-2022 form, holy fuck, that would be supreme value.
Yeah, you got to go with the job security, I think, with Nat Butcher on that one. Nick's gone heads for radio, voices for writing. Good call, brother. Good call. Hammer or Pappy, who scores more? I mean, I think you have to go Pappy against this.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only reason. Like, if the matchup wasn't that good, I'd actually be playing Sloan ahead of Pappy this week from a try scoring perspective, but I think he's going to be there or thereabouts to get some meat this one.
Yep, 100%. Ben asked, I asked this last week, what the fuck do I do with Talakai now? Look, I'm a Talakai owner. I'm sending him packing. I've got KL Hero though, so it makes it a little bit easier for me, but I don't have a lot of room on my bench for anyone else, so I'll be getting rid of Talakai and picking someone up. And look, if
ain't got
if
no
it
time
was
for scrubs,
exactly. And look, and if somehow I don't get what I want off waivers, have a look at free agents. If nothing grabs me, then I'll just keep Talakai for another week.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he said I have Hero now.
Oh, if he's got Hero, just
you're in the same position as me. You've done really well. You listened to me. Well done. Would you swap Kennedy to Tamari Martin or Chevy, or have to hold strong?
Look, I wasn't a Kennedy owner. I sent him packing last week. Look, you've got to get rid of him. This round he's got a really good matchup, and I mentioned that earlier. And look, it's maybe use this as the last roll of the dice with him. I don't think a move to Chevy Stewart's going to do you a huge amount of favors because Rapana is going to be back in 6 weeks. I'm not 100% sold that that Chevy keeps his spot. It's a very specky pick, but I mean, you're not really risking too much dropping Kennedy for it. But I personally would watch, if I was still an owner, I would watch for this round just due to the matchup because look, they've been conceding 89 points per game to opposed fullbacks, and I just feel like there is going to be a fair bit against the Bunnies. I think there's going to be a fair bit of opportunity there for him. He's looked like a step or two behind the plays, and that's where he's always there or thereabouts. But this year he is like a step or two behind. Whether he's not reading the play as well, he's a little bit unfit. I'm just not sure what it is, but I'd be dropping him.
Yeah, tough. That is tough. That is fucking tough.
He's a 60-point player though, like 60 to 65-point player.
I'd wait and just see if he bangs this week.
He could bang this week, and look, that could be. He might have just been lacking confidence, and that's what it is. So yeah, this is the matchup where it'll define his season and whether he's worth keeping or buggering him off.
Yeah, 100. What have we got here? Pick up Blore or Seafarth?
I'd go Blore because it looks like he has locked down that edge back row spot. I think Seafarth's obviously only there for the week while Bateman's out with the head knock.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more to talk about that one.
I agree. This one is, what's your overall classic ranks? This is funny because I don't.
I would say that mine is about 10,000 ish.
Same-o. Mine's 10,336.
Mine is 9,642.
Walker.
No,
I've never been this
not,
low.
It's not.
Isn't?
No. I'm 13,688. So
Ooh.
I am with my astute change of Strange to Talagi. I didn't rise up the rankings as high as I was hoping.
Fucked in the dick hole, didn't it?
It did. It was like a stick up the dick hole. Not fantastic. Not my best move in Classic. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's all green arrows for me, baby. So what do we got next here? Savage, a cheeky captaincy play this week. Fuck, that's bold.
I would be, doesn't have the base to really look, to be honest, he could punch out another 90 quite easily against the Titans, but mate, my butthole would be quivering like nothing else.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I would rather, like, there's plenty of guys in that Raiders outfit that I'd probably put a captaincy on before Savage. You've seen Savage
Timoko for sure.
100%. You've seen Savage score tries and score 70. So
yeah,
that's worrisome. That is worrisome. Chevy or Jai for a waiver wire pickup. He's playing flex. Just want to gamble on one of them.
Chevy's got a longer run, and that's really the main reason. And the matchup this week is just too good to pass up.
Too good. Plus, you're gonna have a guy on your Supercoach team named Chevy Stewart. It's gonna be good.
Name a better, apart from Blaze. Name me a better name.
It's a good name.
It's such a
very good name.
I've actually got his name as my my Supercoach other draft team.
Do you?
Chevy to the Levi.
Ooh, that's
Chevy
clever. That's clever.
Yeah, Thanks, mate.
I just say all my teams are Eskimo Bros.
I know.
I'm too lazy. Every team's Eskimo Bros. Every shield's red and black. It's a different orientation of the V.
Oh dear, mate. Ain't
nobody got time for that. Fuck. All right, that's it. That's the questions.
How good.
Oh, hang on. Another one just rolled in. Holding Bradman best, right?
Yeah, I would be. I think a lot's going to change if Marju ends up coming back on that left edge. I think the dynamic of the attack is going to change a lot.
Yeah.
Conversely, if Marju comes back and actually moves to the right side, like you've suggested, that's where I'd be concerned, because run and blocks and all that sort of stuff is not what you want him to be doing. You want him to be firing up the line. Some of it might be due to Kaipi's Paul's impact as well, just in the shape. So yeah, I'll be watching for the moment. You've got a couple of weeks probably until we do see Marju, if not this week, next week. So hold off.
True that. All right, that's the questions. All right. Let's get out of here, bro. It's a big fucking...
Mate, I'm going to be seeing your ugly face tomorrow, aren't
I know. Yes, guys. So I'm heading down to Sydney tomorrow, catching up with the Wook, catching up with the Roo. We will be doing a Wire episode. Not sure when that is going to be out. Has no implications for the upcoming round. It's just going to be us talking about our draft team and ripping it to shreds, having a laugh, having a beer, having a good time. And obviously, Wook and I, Wook has seen it. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't stepped foot in the center. There could be anything center of excellence, the CBA.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to catching up with the boys, having a good chin wag about draft and having a good time, man. It's going to be good.
It's going to be anything.
It's going to be everything.
It is going to be everything.
It is going to be everything.
No, it's going to be good to catch up with you down here, and putting a few plans in place for when we go up to Magic Round as well. So
yes, there's some fucking wheels in motion, people. Merchandise. Hello.
So good.
Stop it. So yeah, some big fun things coming here for the rub. Next week is going to be a different rub down as well. We're getting into around that time, so round 7. Round 8, when we can start talking about our flip and fetches. So the flip and fetch sheets are available on Patreon now. We'll be doing a full podcast on guys who we want to flip. Obviously, guys who have outperformed what we think they're capable of because of their easy run to start the season, get rid of them. And then guys that we want to go get because they've underperformed what we think they're capable of because of the tough schedule they've had. And we might even touch, so we'll do, the first 8 rounds going into the Battle of Midway, so the next set of 8 rounds, but we'll also touch on the finals as well. Never, like I said, never too early to dip your toe into the finals and start building that fucking championship team. So it's always a fun chat, bro. It's always a really good chat.
Yeah. And we've got something else to feed into the trading chat as well that we'll touch on next week. It's just another tool to assess your trades and to help things moving forward. Cryptic as fuck.
Sheets. Let's go. More stat sheets. Death by fucking stat sheets. Let's go.
Stats from every
All
angle.
right. Let's get the fuck out of here, bro. That's the final siren. That's it for this rub. Remember, there are many things a man can do with his time.
This is better than most things.
You're damn right, Wooker. Catch us next round on the Weekly Rubdown. Hooroo.
Burton, I told ya.
Take me now! I have seen it all!
Get that India.
Ta-ta!